You're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I'm Preeti Gaur. Coming up in the next 30 minutes. US President Joe Biden faces more pressure from Democrats to suspend re-election bid. Biden vows to stay in race, says will defeat Trump.
I am running and we're going to win. I'm not going to change that.
India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi to unveil mega infrastructure projects worth $30 billion in Mumbai today. In Nepal, KP Sharma Oli stakes claim to form the new government after Prachanda loses confidence vote. And in sports, Novak Djokovic advances to Wimbledon final, sets up a rematch against defending champion Carlos Alcaraz. US President Joe Biden has once again reiterated his commitment to the presidential race. Addressing supporters in Detroit, Biden declared that he is not leaving the race and also warned that Republican Donald Trump poses a serious threat. Earlier the same day, Biden made an unscheduled visit to a restaurant in a Detroit suburb where he told diners his intention to finish the job.
You probably noticed there's a lot of speculation lately. What's Joe Biden going to do? Is he going to stay in the race? Is he going to drop out? Here's my answer. I am running and we're going to win. I'm not going to change that. I'm the nominee of the Democratic Party, the only Democrat or Republican who has beaten Donald Trump ever. And I'm going to beat him again. I know him. Donald Trump is a loser.
More U.S. Democratic lawmakers have told President Biden that it's time to step aside as calls grow for him to suspend his re-election bid. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries met Biden at the White House late on Thursday to convey the concerns of the House Democrats. While influential mega donors are reportedly holding back $90 million of fundraising until the president drops out. Nick Harper spells out more details from Washington.
Well, with a dogged determination, Joe Biden has made it clear that he is remaining in the race. He hit the campaign trail on Friday, heading to the swing state of Michigan before campaign stops in Texas and Nevada in the early and middle part of next week. As he puts it, he's trying to allay fears to show people that he's up to the job, so has set himself a rigorous campaign schedule over the next few days. But we learnt on Friday of a late-night meeting on Thursday after that press conference between the president and the House Minority Leader, Democrat Hakeem Jeffries. We're told Jeffries expressed concerns from Democrats on Capitol Hill and talked about a possible path forward. We're also told that Jeffries did not offer the president his endorsement. Well, throughout Friday, we've seen more defections from House Democrats who have put their hand up to say they can no longer support the president. And we also learned that mega donors are putting their money on hold. $90 million worth of pledges for the president have been frozen by those mega donors. They say they will not unfreeze the money for the Democratic campaign until Joe Biden steps aside. But some key allies of the president have given interviews in which they've shown their full support for him, including California Governor Gavin Newsom, who in many respects has been considered as someone who could potentially replace Biden at the top of the ticket. But he said he's not entertaining any ideas of forcing the president aside. He said he was all in with Biden. And then there's the key South Carolina congressman, Jim Clyburn, who said he was fully behind Biden's re-election plan, although he did admit that he would support Vice President Kamala Harris if there was a change at the top of the ticket. It is potentially going to be a difficult weekend ahead for President Biden, with more Democrats possibly coming forward telling him it's time to step aside. Nick Harper in Washington, reporting for DD India.
Let's get you updates from Nepal now. Former Nepali Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli has staked claim to lead the new government after incumbent Prime Minister Pushpakamal Dahal Prachanda lost the trust vote. Prime Minister Prachanda submitted his resignation to President Ramchandra Paudel on Friday evening. Dahal was compelled to either step down or demonstrate his majority in parliament after his biggest ally, the Liberal Communist Unified Marxist-Leninist Party, headed by Oli, withdrew their support. Oli, who has served as Prime Minister twice before, reached an agreement with the Nepali Congress at the end of June, securing enough seats for a majority. The agreement, inked on July 2nd at midnight, also envisages Nepali Congress chief Sher Bahadur Deoba succeeding Oli after about 22 months for the latter half of the current tenure of parliament. UML is the largest party in Nepal's parliament and NC is the second largest. India abstained in the UN General Assembly on a resolution that demanded that Russia immediately cease its aggression against Ukraine and urgently withdraw its military from the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. The UNGA, consisting of 193 members, adopted the resolution with 99 votes in favor, 9 against and 60 abstentions. Cuba, North Korea, Russia and Syria voted against the resolution introduced by Ukraine. The draft resolution also demanded that Russia urgently withdraw its military and other unauthorized personnel from the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant and immediately return the plant to the full control of the sovereign and competent authorities of Ukraine to ensure its safety and security. Reiterating India's support to Palestine and United Nations Relief and Works Agency for Refugees at United Nations General Assembly, India's Deputy Representative to the UN, R. Ravindra, said that India is actively considering Palestine's request for life-saving medicines.
There is also a request from Palestinian Authority for life-saving medicines, which we are actively considering. We also appeal to other traditional donors of UNRWA to consider enhancing their support and non-donor member states to consider financial contributions to UNRWA. We reiterate the need for safe, timely and sustained supply of humanitarian assistance to the people of Palestine. India has been a trusted development partner for the people of Palestine. $2.5 million will be transferred to UNRWA in the coming days.
The European Union charged Elon Musk's social media platform X with breaching its online content law. The European Commission, in a finding on Friday, identified 3 grievances over X's content practices. According to the Commission's preliminary findings, the design and functioning of X's blue check mark feature is an illegal verification tool, as anyone can pay to obtain it and gain verified status, which it said can deceive users. The Commission said X had also failed to comply with the DSA requirement to provide searchable and reliable information about advertisements in a library for easy access. X was also charged with blocking researchers from accessing its public data. The company, which will have several months to respond to the charges, could face a fine of as much as 6% of its global turnover if found guilty of breaching the DSA. At least 22 students were killed and more than 130 have been injured after a school building collapsed in Nigeria's Central Plateau state on Friday. The 2-storied building collapsed during school hours around 7:30 in the morning on Friday. All trapped under the debris have been rescued and are being treated for various injuries in several hospitals. The cause of the collapse is not known, but residents said that it came after 3 days of heavy rains in Plateau. There have been several major building collapses in Nigeria in recent years, with observers blaming a mix of bad workmanship, poor quality material and corruption. In 2021, at least 45 people were killed when a high-rise building under construction collapsed in a wealthy Lagos neighborhood. Search continues for the missing buses and 60 passengers swept away by the Trishuli River. The rescue operation, now in its second day, involves the specialized deep diving unit of the armed police force known as govt. The incident occurred when 2 buses were caught in the river's powerful current, causing them to be carried away. The swift and dangerous waters of Trishuli River have made the search and rescue efforts particularly challenging. A second-stage engine on SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket suffered a rare malfunction in space during a routine Starlink mission, imperiling the satellites in the company's first rocket failure in more than 7 years. Roughly an hour after Falcon 9 lifted off from the Vandenberg Space Force Base, the rocket's second stage in space failed to reignite and deployed its 20 Starlink satellites into a much lower orbit than planned, where they risk burning up in Earth's atmosphere. Ahead of the upcoming US presidential elections 2024, Meta has announced that it would end restrictions on former President Trump's Facebook and Instagram accounts. The tech company's decision came on Friday, in the days immediately after January 6, 2021 Capitol insurrection. Trump's accounts were suspended after the company determined that his posts had potentially fueled the violence that took place that day. The former president was also banned from social media platform Twitter, now called X. However, the account was restored in 2022. Amid wages battle, a union representing workers at South Korean technology giant Samsung Electronics' indefinite strike continues. Several hundred employees joined protests on Thursday and Friday in front of Samsung's high bandwidth memory site in Pyeongtaek after the union called a general strike this week. The strike is the largest labor action in the smartphone and chip-making giant's 55-year history. Let's take a look at other stories making it to the headlines from across the world now. Nearly 1 million homes and businesses in Texas remained without power on Friday, 5 days after Hurricane Beryl made landfall in the U.S. state. Local officials warned it could take several days to restore power as the hurricane toppled 10 transmission lines and knocked down trees that took down power lines. A music festival in Slovakia turned tragic when a severe storm caused a tent to collapse, resulting in injuries to several attendees. The incident occurred as high winds and heavy rain swept through the festival grounds, catching many festival goers off guard. The festival, which attracted a large number of music fans, was in full swing when the storm hit. The sudden and intense weather caused chaos as people scrambled for shelter. At least 65 pilot whales have died after being stranded on an island off the north coast of Scotland, in one of the largest mass strandings in Britain in recent times. Experts predict the mishap is a cause of environment. Almost a year ago, a similar event involving pilot whales occurred on Lewis, another Scottish island located to the west of the mainland, where at least 55 whales died or were euthanized. We're heading for a short break. You're watching DD India Live. But after the break, over 750 students from more than 45 educational institutions vie for honours as the coveted Robocon 2024 kickstarts from today. Stay with us for all the hits and misses at Wimbledon as Jasmine Peloni and Barbora Krejcikova fight out to become the new women's champion. And we'll also show how climbers race to scale man-made wall over River Thames in London Festival.
What is happening to the link between the diaspora and Mother India, how they see India's rise, and what is the role of the diaspora in propelling India's rise?
See, being here firsthand, all the infrastructural changes, the talks about transformation, I feel very proud.
As a member of the diaspora, we think that India is a country that is rich in culture and at the same time its economic advancements and technology.
To bring this knowledge to the people there and to stimulate people on building relationships with each other and with India.
Welcome back. After the break, you're watching DD India Live. India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi will launch, dedicate to the nation and lay the foundation stones for various infrastructure projects worth $300 billion in Mumbai, including 2 key twin tunnel projects, including new platforms at Lokmanya Tilak Terminus and Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj Terminus Station, and also crucial road, railway and port sector ventures. The Prime Minister will also lay the foundation stone for the Thane-Borivali Tunnel project worth 16,600 crore rupees. During his visit, Prime Minister will also inaugurate several key infrastructure projects. India's National Security Advisor Ajit Doval spoke to his US counterpart Jake Sullivan on Friday. Both the leaders discussed a wide range of issues of bilateral, regional and international concern and forthcoming high-level engagements under the Quad framework to be held in July 2024 and later in the year. The NSA has agreed to work closely to further advance India-US relations, which are built on shared values and common strategic and security interests. They reiterated the need to work collectively to address global challenges to peace and security and further expand the comprehensive global strategic partnership. Robocon 2024 kicks off in style in India's New Delhi's Tyagaraja Stadium. Also, the event organized by IIT Delhi in collaboration with Prasar Bharati is witnessing the participation of 150 plus students from across the country. Around 46 teams are participating in the competition, where the robots made by the students will compete on the theme called Harvest Today. The winners will be playing the final in Vietnam this year in the month of August. DD India's Deepika Mehto got in conversation with students who talk about their preparations for the event. Let's listen in.
Samina, when we talk about this competition, please explain us a bit about the format of this.
Yeah, so this is basically like an Asia Pacific competition where every year they come up with a theme. Now this year the hosting team is Vietnam, and the theme is all about rice planting and harvesting. So right now we have 3 separate areas in the game field. So the first area, as you can see, we have seedlings that the bots have to pick up and plant. Then in the second area, there's balls that we have to throw into the third area, which is what they call as harvesting. And then finally, we have to pick up the balls that were thrown and then put them in the silos or the baskets. So one of the robots is manually controlled and the second one is autonomous, which means it's working all on its own.
All right. And also, Atharv, you are also from Maharashtra representing this team. Since how long have you been preparing for this?
Like 1 year, after last match, last year's match. From that time we are preparing, we have made another team, we have recruited new members and we have made these bots.
All right, thank you so much for talking to us. All the very best to your entire team. So there you heard from Team Maharashtra. They are all set to represent their state and they are preparing for this event since past 1 year, since the time the last competition took place. And now they have created their own robots who are all set to perform at the league phase here in DD Robocon 2024. With camera person Lalit, this is Deepika reporting for DD India from New Delhi.
Seattle Mayor Bruce Harrell and Consul General of India in Seattle, Prakash Gupta, jointly inaugurated the first Indian visa application center in the US cities of Seattle and Bellevue on Friday. Consul General Prakash Gupta emphasized that the opening of these new centers reflect Indian government's commitment to deepen its relationship with the Pacific Northwest states. He added any feedback and suggestions on the further improvement will be welcomed. Both Seattle and Bellevue IVAC centers will be managed by VFS Global. Mayor Harrell expressed his admiration for the Indian community, praising their role and contribution in enriching the bonds of friendship between India and the US. The IMD has predicted increased rainfall activity in North and Northeast India. The weather body has further issued an orange alert for heavy rainfall on July 11th. In Bihar and parts of Uttar Pradesh. As per the forecast, rainfall activity will remain active across various states until July 15th. Also, heavy rainfall activity is expected over Himalayan West Bengal, Sikkim, Bihar, Jharkhand and Odisha. Light rains are expected in Uttarakhand, Central India, Uttar Pradesh, Jammu Kashmir, Ladakh, Punjab, Haryana, Chandigarh, Delhi and Rajasthan. The IMD also issued an orange alert for Mumbai with heavy to very heavy rains in isolated areas. The residents must gear up for a wet spell over the next few days as a yellow alert is in place till July 15th. The National Capital Region received early morning showers on Saturday with prediction for more rain during the day. The heavy showers brought the temperature down, bringing much needed respite from heat. And according to the Met Department, Delhi and Noida are likely to witness cloudy skies with thunderstorms today and on Sunday. Rain also caused waterlogging in several parts of Delhi, making it difficult for the people to commute. Waterlogging further slowed traffic on the roads. The flood situation in North India's Assam has shown significant improvement as population affected by the floods has come down to 12.3 lakh. 7 persons lost their lives on Friday, taking the death toll up to 91 this year. Brahmaputra River in some major areas and 3 other rivers, Buridihing, Disang and Kushiara, are flowing above the danger mark. More than 39,000 inmates are taking shelter in 316 relief camps across the state. Over 3.8 lakh big animals and 2.25 lakh small animals were affected due to floods on Friday. 159 wild animals have died in Kaziranga National Park due to flooding. The Park Authority and the Forest Department have also managed to rescue 133 animals during flood time, and 111 animals were released after treatment. Gurez Valley is emerging as a hot border tourism destination these days. About 1 lakh tourists visited Gurez last year, and the number is expected to break previous records this year as well. As part of the broader trend in Kashmir's border areas, a total of 4.3 lakh tourists have explored destinations like Keran, Lolab, Machil, Titwal and Uri, showcasing the increasing popularity of these border villages. The valley, known for its captivating landscapes and cultural heritage, has become a hotspot for activities like trekking, camping and fishing. Archaeologists have uncovered world's oldest ostricha dating back to 41,000 years in southern Indian state of Andhra Pradesh. The nest was discovered while archaeologists from Vadodara University and experts from Germany, Australia and the US were investigating a fossil-rich site in Andhra Pradesh's Prakasam. According to the archaeologists, the nest, measuring between 9 to 10 feet in width, was capable of holding 30 to 40 eggs at a time. Let's talk of sports now. The ongoing Wimbledon 2024 on Friday saw Carlos Alcaraz and Novak Djokovic set up a repeat of their epic 2023 clash in the final, following respective wins over Daniil Medvedev and Lorenzo Musetti in the semi-finals. Alcaraz finally found his A-game to reach his second straight Wimbledon final as the champion overcame an erratic first set to beat Medvedev 6-7, 6-3, 6-4, 6-4. Meanwhile, 7 times champion Djokovic produced some of his best tennis to outclass Musetti 6-4, 7-6, 6-4 and reach a 10th Wimbledon final. A new women's champion will be crowned at Wimbledon on Saturday when surprise finalists Jasmine Paolini and also Barbora Krejcikova face each other in an intriguing encounter. Paolini is vying to become Italy's first Wimbledon singles champion, while her opponent is hoping to continue the Czech Republic's proud record in the championships. Krejcikova had only won 3 matches in 5 months before the tournament after struggling with illness and injury. The two 28-year-olds have taken advantage of an open women's draw and are now 1 match away from lifting the famous Venus Rosewater dish. Germany's most unique sport oracle predicted on Friday a Spanish victory in the Euro final. Microbiologist Marcus Eggerts interpreted a Spanish victory after coli bacteria grown in a petri dish made to resemble a football pitch favored the British penalty box. The bacteria oracle had a good track record up to the Spain-German matchup, where the bacteria wrongly foresaw a German victory. However, Eggert is undeterred by the bacteria's wrong prediction and has already plans to potentially use bacteria from a football player's foot or a football for their World Cup bacteria oracle. Spain will take on England in the Euro title clash on Sunday. Climbers are gathering in London's Canary Wharf district to attempt to scale a 16 meters high climbing wall over River Thames. Some 100 participants from around the world are racing head-to-head up the wall as part of the North Face Climb Festival. Those who don't make it to the top fall into River Thames. That's it in this edition of DD India.